Northeast Tonight, brought to you by Oil India Limited, conquering newer horizons. Coming up from the Northeast Live Studios in Guwahati, Northeast Tonight with Wasbir Hussain.
Hello and welcome to Northeast Tonight, the show that decodes the region. Electoral alliances, viewers, is a very tricky game. An electoral partner can either win an election for the alliance or spell doom. Many now think that the RJD was defeated in the recent assembly elections in Bihar because of the alliance with Congress, which lost most of the seats it contested. This is election time in Assam, and we are staring at new alliances in the state's political arena. The ruling BJP has dumped its Bodo ally of 5 years, the BPF. Yes, the BJP has carried out a blazing campaign across the Bodo heartland for the 40-member BTR, with party mascot Himanta Biswa Sharma tearing apart Hagrama Mohilari and his party, accusing him of cheating the people in the Bodo heartland by indulging in large-scale corruption. Why did the BJP snap ties with the BPF? Is it part of the BJP's attempt at expanding its base in Assam? Who could be the BJP's new ally? Many say it is going to be the UPPL, led by former APSU President Pramod Boro. The UPPL, incidentally, is the biggest local challenger to the BPF. Again, the Congress and AIUDF has demonstrated that they are working together, with PCC President Ripun Bora and AIUDF leader Badruddin Ajmal holding joint campaign rallies. Is this the beginning of a Congress AIUDF poll alliance that will take it to the 2021 state elections? Many within the Congress and the AIUDF are unhappy with this development. They fear the Congress and AIUDF coming together could help the BJP by triggering a reverse polarization of votes in the BJP's favor. One has to wait and watch. Besides, will the BJP continue to pamper the AGP? Can the AGP take the BJP for granted? Then one cannot ignore the capacity of Kokrajhar Lok Sabha MP Nava Saronia's Ganashakti party to act as another polarizing force, this among the non-Bodos, irrespective of religion. On the whole, Assam is set for new alliances as 2021 approaches. To discuss the possibilities, I am joined from Dibrugarh by veteran Congress leader and former Union Minister Paban Singh Ghatowar. Assam BJP MLA Siladitya Deb is with me in the studios. Joining me from Uttarakhand is Professor Baharul Islam, Professor of Public Policy and Governance at IIM Kashipur, someone who knows the AIUDF politics for a long time now. From Kokrajhar, I am joined by UZ Brahma, former MP and founder president of UPPL. I have in Guwahati Dr. Nani Gopal Mahanta, professor at Guwahati University and a well-known commentator, and also in the studios with me, joining shortly, Mr. Kirip Chalia, former Congress MP. Gentlemen, welcome to Northeast Tonight. Let me go straight to you, Mr. Paban Singh Ghatowar in Dibrugarh. Mr. Paban Singh Ghatowar, it is now clear that the Congress and the AIUDF has struck an understanding. Otherwise, your party president in the state, Mr. Ripun Bora, would not have held joint campaign rallies with AIUDF chief Badruddin Ajmal. Are you a happy man at this alliance?
You see, as a disciplined party man, definitely I have to be with the party policy. But as you know, that we have not yet struck the alliance with any party in Assam till today, because in our system that we have a initial discussion with the prospective alliance partner, then we give details to our high command, and when we get the approval of the high command, then we can say that we have finalized our alliance partner. There are many things before finalizing the alliance partner, because seat sharing is there. There are many things. There may be some issues we have to be sorted out, and
Right.
definitely till today, as far I know, the High Command has not given any approval to any alliance.
Now, Mr. Ghatowar, it is said that a lot of senior Congress leaders are not excited with this whole show of unity among the Congress and the AIUDF for the Bodo elections. Now, many fear that this is going to help the BJP because it may lead to reverse polarization of pro-BJP votes.
No, I don't think the population of Assam think in that line. You see, as a congressman, many congressmen, we are not habituated to the alliance with any political party. That is our old thinking. But with the changing situation, I personally also feel that there has to be a grand alliance to defeat the BJP party. So I think yes, there are many views in a democratic party. There are views, but when the party decide for something, that become the views of all disciplined party member.
Okay. Stay on, don't go away, Mr. Paban Singh Ghatowar. I'm coming back to you soon. Let me go to Uttarakhand, where I'm joined by Professor Baharul Islam, professor at the IIM Kashipur, a well-known commentator who knows AIUDF politics very well, having seen and researched on the party for a long time now. Professor Baharul Islam, how do you look at this, joint rallies by the two parties? Do you think that each party cannot do without the other? Is that the situation? What is the compulsion of the AIUDF to agree to an alliance with the Congress? Is it for survival? Is it for aimed at keeping in view the 2021 elections? How do you view it?
Thank you, Mr. Hussain. You will appreciate the fact that the Indian politics has been a multi-party politics. For long, de facto, the Congress has been a major party and all other parties used to fight against Congress. We have seen it in Janata time and later on. Now, in a multi-party democracy, what happens at one side, the one party gathers around 30-31% votes, can very well form a government. In such kind of scenario, all smaller parties tend to build around coalitions around some stronger anchors. This anchor can be RJD in Bihar. This anchor can be Shiv Sena in Maharashtra. It can be Akali Dal in Punjab. So around those smaller parties, regional identities and political spaces, they want to create a force. Now, what is happening and what you are looking at in the Borderland election campaign is nothing but a manifestation of political spaces being shared by smaller parties when a bigger force is on the horizon. Right now, it is the BJP government. So these parties will come together. Congress or UDF, they have many ideological differences. Even you can say UDF was born out of anti-Congressism. But now the electoral politics is so that if you keep the opposition divided, then one particular ruling party might get an advantage. So I see this, it is as a normal corollary in democratic system where smaller parties come together. This happened in India, it happens in United Kingdom, in other countries also.
All right.
So I don't see, but nothing, it is a vibrant manifestation of political activism.
Vibrant manifestation of political activity, and this perhaps the two parties have come together, the Congress and the AIUDF, to take on a bigger party despite the ideological and political differences. That is what Professor Baharul Islam is saying. I'll come to you, Mr. Siladitya Deb, for your reaction, but let me quickly go to Dr. Nani Mahanta. Dr. Nani Mahanta, a lot of people think that the Congress wants to piggyback on the AIUDF for support in the minority areas, or it is the other way around, the AIUDF wants to consolidate to take on the BJP, therefore coming together with the Congress party. But a lot of people within the Congress as well as the AIUDF are not happy with this development because they feel that it will lead to polarization of pro-BJP votes. How do you look at it?
Thank you, Wasbir. Well, I didn't have the opportunity to listen to all the esteemed panelists who are present there. But nevertheless, coming to your question regarding the relationship between Congress and AIDF and the dilemma and the juncture that they have been facing in terms of their proposed collaboration, which already have taken place in BTAD. But Wasbir, as I look at it, today Congress is most divided, particularly after the unfortunate death of Tarun Gogoi. If you look at the dynamics, the way Congress party has been functioning or it has been unfolding its political behavior, you would look at there are five components of Congress today. The one is Upper Assam component led by Rupjyoti Kurmi and Debabrot Soikia. And here Rupjyoti Kurmi even doesn't bother, even he can go to the extent of criticizing or urging the Congress state president to resign because of some legal issues that has been going on. That is number Upper Assam centric Congress behavior. Then second is Middle Assam. In Wasbir Hussain, Pradyut Bordoloi, they allegedly having some differences, but nevertheless, they are also having their political point of view.
Yeah.
Then thirdly, you have the Congress president. Congress president, even if you look at his campaign with Badaruddin at the BTAD areas, he said this alliance is for this region. Then they will talk about the future alliance in 2021. That is the third component of the political behavior of Congress. Then fourth is the Lower Assam. Lower Assam, as already it triggered a lot of political controversy when the MLA from South Salmara even ridiculed or went to the extent of minimizing the impact of Upper Assam voters. So already he created a kind of schism by saying that the Congress party cannot.
And the last is,
Barak Valley. So what I'm trying to say is that today Congress, because of its ideological premise of catch-all kind of or secular communal approach, they are highly divided. They are highly divided. So one section wants its alliance with AIDF, but the other section, Barak Valley people support Hindu, Bengali, the Ka issue, Suspita Deb and all. So in such a scenario, what would unfold in the days to come is a profound political confusion, and that might not augur well for a age-old political party like Congress. That is my situation. Today it is a divided house, it's a disjointed, their ideas are ruptured, and that what I would say doesn't augur well for Congress party.
Okay, I'll get a response from Paban Singh Ghatowar slightly later. Mr. UZ Brahma, ruling BJP has dumped the Bodo People's Front, its ally of 5 years in the Bodo Council as well as the government. Now, if a situation arises, will your party, that is the UPPL, be willing to side with the BJP? How is the situation? Because today we are discussing alliance politics in Assam because we have the elections in 2021. Mr. UZ Brahma.
No, the ruling BJP has dumped the BPF because of their reason. The problem is with them, that is their problem. They might have some disagreement and a dispute also in running the government. Why they have dumped the BPF, that is their matter, that is not our matter. But so far the formation of the government and the alliance with any party, that is not discussed in our party because we are confident enough that the UPPL would be forming the next council government on their own. So there would be no need of support from any other party, we believe so. This is our clear stand of the party now. And if any such kind of situation arises, that will be matter of the discussion in the CWC and the policy making body. After that only we can disclose the things.
Okay, okay. Now, coming to you, Mr. Siladitya Deb, you are an extremely vocal BJP leader. My question to you, first of all, why do you think the BJP has dumped the ally BPF? Is it only because what we have been hearing and seeing in the election campaign, your party leader has been accusing the BPF of indulging in large-scale corruption for failing to bring in development? That is one part of the story. The second possibility is that a lot of people are saying the BJP wants to expand its base in Assam and therefore has decided to go solo or decided to contest the election on its own in the Bodo Council areas, because that is the trend that is going to happen in the 2021 elections as well. BJP will contest the elections on its own.
See, the Bodo election at this moment, I would say, is a very localized election, and therefore maybe there are differences between the alliances for how they would like to go for the election. BJP naturally as a national party, and we are expanding everywhere. Maybe that may be a reason that our local leaders, workers, they wanted to go for the elections independently. Because we don't have a proper alliance there. But I would really, because since I have not come here as a spokesperson of the party, I have just come as a invitee today, so I will not be able to tell you exactly whether it was a case of dumping or it was going straight to the people for organizational expansion. Yeah. But here I would mention about a larger politics which we are looking towards 2021, and as Honorable former Minister Ghatowar Sahab has rightly pointed out, he said that as a disciplined soldier of the party, which means there may be another part which may be indiscipline as well. So therefore, if there is an alliance between the Congress or the AIUDF, there may be a lot of indiscipline, which is an indicator from this particular show. That will really matter because everyone is looking towards 2021 election. BTC election is a very small election, and in another 2-3 days we will get to know what is happening. Till Congress and AIUDF is concerned, we have already seen their alliance when the Congress government was there in the center, because Ajmal Sahab was supporting the Congress in UPA government, and they were not in the Tarun Gogoi government. For the last 15 years, there was no direct participation of the AIUDF in the Assam government, maybe the reasons best known to them. Now there is a lot of noise that maybe these two parties can come together. I feel that it is not two parties coming together.
Why are they trying to come together? What is the purpose? Is it because each party is not confident of their own strength? Do you think? What do you think?
Naturally, because see, a 140-year-old party, Congress party, trying to align with a 14-year-old party, AIUDF, there has to be some reason, because they share the same vote bank, and you know very well what vote bank is that. And therefore, the AIUDF, when it was born in 2006, it mostly came out of Congress party.
Right, but Mr. Siladitya Deb, a lot of people will ask you also this question, that a strong political party like yours, that is the BJP, decided to align with the Bodo People's Front, which is not even 10 years when you aligned with them in 5 years ago.
See, we are just a 40-year-old party, so we are also very young in Indian politics. So therefore, we will just naturally go for political parties which are upcoming, doing well, they are very working for people, for the country.
Okay.
So these are the, if our principles goes together. But the thing is, AIUDF and the Congress, are they ideologically going together? It means if they are going together, it means what? I'm very surprised that we have an honorable professor from about thousands of kilometers away, Mr. Baharul Islam Sahab, that he knows so well about the AIUDF sitting out there, and that's very interesting. Anyway, Assam politics is not going to be very easy as the Congress and the AIUDF is imagining to be.
Okay. I'll come back to you, Mr. Siladitya Deb. Let me go to once again to Mr. Paban Singh Ghatowar. Mr. Paban Singh Ghatowar, I'm coming to you, Dr. Baharul Islam. Mr. Paban Singh Ghatowar, Dr. Nani Mahanta, he said that there is political confusion within the Congress. There are so many groups, Upper Assam group, Middle Assam group, Central leaders, Barak Valley. That is very clear now. You said that you are a disciplined soldier. Of course, you are a veteran Congress leader. You have been always a part of the central thinking in the party. But you are saying that there has been no alliance. Your party in charge for Assam, Mr. Jitendra Singh, has also said that there is no alliance. High Command has not given a green signal. Then why is it that your state president is going around these joint rallies? What does it indicate? A lot of people are saying that there is panic within the AIUDF as well as the Congress, or there is lack of a vision of how to deal with the BJP, or for that matter the UPPL and BPF. Therefore you are coming together. Is it a marriage of convenience?
You see, if you consider the election of the BTR, I think the BTR, I must admit that our presence was not there. Not a single MLA is from there, the BTR area, from the Congress party. Yes, there may be some understanding with UDF to going together so that we can also win some seat in the BTR area. That may be the reason, and locally decided by the state president. As our General Secretary has already said that till today we have not formally signed any alliance partner with Assam, but I personally feel that we have to have a grand alliance so that we can, in the coming election 2021, we can face effectively the BJP party in the hustings. That is my view. And in a political party, as always, there is different. In a democratic party, always there is different view. If you see from the Bimola Prasad Soliha time, all along there are different view in the party. But when the party decides something, everybody fall in line and they follow that line. That will be that is always there. And I think that is one of the healthiest practice in a democratic party, to air their views within the party. And I personally feel that everybody should discuss trade and bread, and they should express their view, and the majority view will be decided.
Okay.
And if we get the approval of the High Command, that will be the party line.
Okay.
I don't think
quickly to you
affect the party
right in
the election.
Absolutely. Quickly to you, Dr. Baharul Islam. Dr. Baharul Islam, do you think that the AIUDF has made a mistake? Because if you look at the RJD example in Bihar, RJD was doing so well. Perhaps today a lot of people say that had it not had an alliance with the Congress party, it contested about 76 and won nothing, and almost nothing. That was the reason for the RJD's defeat. So do you think a similar thing can happen? Because AIUDF has a particular vote bank, their own vote bank. Now Congress, do you think that will create confusion among the AIUDF voters, or for that matter the Congress vice versa? Do you think it will do more harm than good and lead to polarization of pro-BJP votes? Do you buy this argument?
I think one thing is very clear, that we at any political combination in a electoral democracy, you see, these are experimentation going on. And when coalitions are happening, on the hindsight, we can always think about that why RJD gave so many seats to Congress. They could have given 50 or 25 maybe.
Yeah.
But will that alliance would happen? Congress would have been standing outside. Then what kind of impact would it have, if the voters are, divided within the opposition? So we cannot have a very scientific prediction here that this will have a reverse polarization or not. What we can say is that BJP is having its own vote bank. It will try to consolidate it against any kind of forces which either imaginary or projected. So they will always find out whether UDF is with Congress or without Congress. The problem with a party like UDF is that for a minority political party, for a smaller group like BPF or Akali Dal or any kind of formation, political space formation, that they will always be seen as a kind of B team of others. So if you stand somewhere and BJP wins, you are a B team of BJP. If you stand somewhere, Congress wins, you are a B team of Congress. So this experimentation will happen. The apprehensions are very well right. Every member of every party apprehends about reverse polarization or pro or against polarization. But this is the part of life.
Nani Gopal Mahanta,
every party has gone through.
Right. Nani Gopal Mahanta, I'll have to go for a break, but before that, Nani Gopal Mahanta, your thoughts?
Well, Wasbir, I have few points to make. Number one, you cannot compare, Congress of Assam and Congress of Bihar, because in Assam, Congress always a predominant player, and they're having a vote share of 24 to 25% all along. I mean, even at the bad, critical juncture, they're holding on to their vote base. So you cannot possibly compare Congress, role of Congress in Assam and role of Congress in Bihar in a straitjacket manner. That is number one. Number two, coming to Congress forming alliance with AIDF, my political conjecture is that they may not go for a formal alliance with AIDF. It will be a kind of Jekyll and Hyde in the sense that they will not go formally, but they will have tactical alliance in those areas in Lower Assam without going for formal understanding, but they could have tacit understanding the way they had in Koliabur constituency in the MP election. But in Upper Assam, they will not go with AIDF. So these are the kind of tactics they can adopt. But my worry is that Wasbir, even if they go for this kind of informal arrangement, the political communication is already there in case of Assam, that Congress is already in hand in gloves with AIDF, number one. Number two, MP Ajit Bhuya has been playing a very instrumental role in bringing all these factions together. So the clarion call is that Congress is already with AIDF. That is number two. My third point is that I do agree with our respected Ghatowar Dada that yes, there is a healthy democracy. In a democracy, there is difference of opinion. In 60s, in 70s, it's all along, it's welcome.
Yeah.
But the difference now is that in the days of social media, in the days of TV, television, in the days of vibrant media structure, when one particular MLA challenges the party president openly, and that goes on, that creates confusion. Yes, we need healthy differences, but articulation in TV, articulation in media, articulation in Facebook, that might create some amount of confusion. That's what I have to say.
I'll come back. 20 seconds to you before I go for a break, Siladitya Deb. This is what you want, isn't it? Confusion within the Congress party?
No.
The more the confusion, the better for you.
No, the Congress...
And now my question again, the BJP has been accusing the AIUDF of indulging in communal politics. But the Congress now is having a relationship with the AIUDF. What do you have to say now?
No. Do you think the Congress is a secular party today? The Congress is it's a communal party, because out of 24 MLAs, 15 of them are Muslim MLAs. And that is why they are having a tuck with the AIUDF. And why we are making so much of noise about the Congress-AIUDF alliance? It doesn't require an alliance. Do you think simply signing a bond that we are alliance partners and that we are going to election? What happened to Maharashtra? There was an alliance between the BJP and the Shiv Sena, and after the elections results were out, Shiv Sena just walked away. So that doesn't mean that you have to have a written documentation for alliance. Already you have an alliance with the Congress and the AIUDF in Assam. We have seen it in the Lok Sabha election last time. In Nagaon seat, there was no AIUDF candidate. You had only Congress candidate, and the Congress candidate won because there was no AIUDF candidate. So therefore, these are all, they're playing gimmicks, they're playing drama about it. Already the Congress and the AIUDF is in alliance, but they are not doing it openly. Why? The fear of losing in the Upper Assam badly. And the Congress is going to be divided many times.
Okay, I'll come back. I'll go for a break. I'll come back to Mr. Paban Singh Ghatowar, who is a very senior leader of the Congress and also represents Upper Assam or Eastern Assam as you call it. Don't go away. I'll be right back after this very short break. Well, welcome back. Let me go to Mr. UZ Brahma in Kokrajhar. Mr. UZ Brahma, the UPPL has been accusing BPF of failing to bring in development, indulging in large-scale corruption and so on. Therefore, all the more reason, for UPPL to partner with BJP, which is the ruling party in Assam, as well as at the center, because you are accusing BPF of failing to deliver in the Bodo heartland. You said that there is absolutely no development, no jobs, nothing in the Bodo heartland because of the misrule of the BPF. That is the allegation you are leveling. So it is all the more natural for people to expect that you will side with the ruling party, and that is the BJP. Is that so?
Now it is obvious the BPF was in the power in the council, and that is natural in the politics that party in power becomes the target of every party. Now the BJP also stood in this election on their own. In the all 25 seats, they have contested election alone, having no alliance with any party.
Yeah.
So naturally, they will have to target the BPF. And we are also fighting on our own. The UPPL contesting the 40 seats. Just our aim is to defeat the BPF and occupy the council government. That's why we are criticizing the BPF also. And there is no such any political chances that having alliance after the election just because we are attacking or criticizing the BPF in a common manner. Even the Congress, AIUDF also criticizing the BPF. So corruption is a fact. There is a huge amount of corruption in the
Mr.
rural
Brahma,
development also, in the road infrastructure
feel,
development also.
Many
and
feel,
it is revealed by none other than the controller in
Mr. Brahma, many feel that the BJP is going solo in BTR as it wants to expand its base and keeping in view the 2021 elections are approaching.
So, yeah, that is their target. Even in the next election, they are very clear that they will fight alone, having no alliance with any party. Except the AGP, they are not preferring any party for having alliance in the next assembly election. That's why why they are coming heavily in the BTC election. I can understand that is what groundwork for the 2021 assembly election only. They know it very well that they cannot occupy the council. They cannot win the majorities, good numbers of the seats in the council because they may win 1 or 3 seats or maybe maximum 5 seats. But by that way, they cannot occupy the council. But their work and their participation in the election is the preparation, ground preparation for the next 2021 election only. And their stand is very open that in 2021 assembly election, the party will have no alliance with the party in the council.
Mr. Ghatowar, Siladitya Deb of the BJP has said that, you have a secret alliance and it is an open secret. You are not announcing it because you are fearful, you are apprehensive of its impact in Eastern Assam or Upper Assam, because where AIUDF does not have any hold. So is this the main reason why you are in two minds whether to announce or go for the alliance or whether to hold on for some more time and test the waters?
No, it is the view of Siladitya. I have nothing to say about that. But if you see the ground reality, if I am not wrong, the Nagaon and Karimganj Jila Parishad is formed by UDF and the BJP together, and one Anchalik Panchayat in Borpeta also formed with the help of UDF by BJP. So if you see all these things, I don't think Siladitya also come from the Nagaon district, and Nagaon district they have the support of the UDF in forming the Jila Parishad. Jila Parishad, and the same with the Karimganj.
I think I should correct him.
When we definitely we have an open mind.
Congress.
I say that we definitely, to prevent the BJP, we have to have a grand alliance. I must say what Nani also said, he is right, because the behavior, individual behavior of the many MLAs of our party, I don't support that. You see, there, if you are a party member, you have to speak within the party, and if you have any different view, you have the forum in the party. There are many people, there are many weakness going to the electronic media and print media and airing their personal view. When you are a party member, your party views is your view. Your personal views does not matter there. So I don't think some of the behavior of our party member also. The same thing apply with the BJP also. So I don't think these are good for any political party. But definitely, when we will have definitely we have to tell the people of Assam that we are alliance with A, B, C, D, with all these party, and we will go for and we will seek the blessing of the people of Assam. They are the final judge.
Absolutely.
They will take.
I
don't
judge.
think
Siladitya Deb.
Because if you see the alliance politics, BJP also had alliance with PDP in Kashmir. So in the debate you can discuss many things, but when practical thing come, I think that is a different calculation. I personally
Point taken. Yes, Siladitya, yes,
Wasbir, I would like to tell you something. BJP can go with alliance with anybody, because BJP is considered as an untouchable by all the political parties. So therefore, when we go with a political party, then we establish that we are no longer an untouchable in Indian politics. But a secular party who keeps on saying that that's secular, and when they go and tie up with a communal party, then it is established that what is the truth in speaking about secularism. Regarding that alliance, what Mr. Ghatowar had mentioned, in Hujai, there was no talk between the BJP and the AIUDF. It was the Congress and the BJP there in the Jila Parishad, and later on the Congress person had joined officially the BJP party. I would like to mention here that in the local elections, I mean rather the local government, the panchayat or the municipalities, we know very well when they sit in the house, they are not from any political party.
Okay.
They are independent.
All right. Let me go to. I'm coming to you, Dr. Baharul Islam. Nani Gopal Mahanta. Today's, if you look at the equations, the equations in Assam today, do you think the AIUDF can only have the Congress as its alliance partner and no one else? Because they have no one else to go to. Do you think Congress is the only party with which the AIUDF can align? Is that your reading?
Well, you see, theoretically speaking, they can have Grand Alliance or Mahajudbandhan, whatever they call it, because Ajit Bhuya and the ideological stalwart of the alliance, proposed alliance, they're talking about, alliance with CPI, CPN, then AJP, then Raijor Dal, so on and so forth. But effectively, if you look at the electoral politics that we have today in Assam, those political parties, they are very novice. For example, AGP coming out of ASU or even Raijor Dal coming out of KMSS, their electoral strength is not tested yet. So even if they have contradictions, they are not joining the so-called Grand Alliance, number one. Even the leftist political parties, they have certain, they can at best curtail some votes, and or in the last
But
election, there is certain.
they even cannot join the Grand Alliance, isn't it? Because they are supposed to be Jatiyotawadi parties, quote unquote. Assamese nationalism is their catchword.
Yeah, even hypothetically speaking, when they come together, so this alliance looks to be very fragile. Even at the beginning, it's not taking off, first of all. Number two, there are huge ideological discord. This AJP, Raijordal would not go hand in hand with, AIDF. So
That's
this
what
is
I'm
the
saying.
irony of
Yeah.
the situation. So in lower Assam, you have one political discourse, and in upper Assam, you have diametrically the opposite. So in such a scenario, even if they go together, so that is the dilemma of Congress party today, that they even cannot possibly dump AIDF. On the other hand, they can possibly embrace also.
But
Because in the last election,
but
yeah.
I'll come to you once again, Nani Gopal Mahanta, Dr. Baharul Islam, that Dr. Nani Gopal Mahanta is saying that Congress has a dilemma because AIUDF has a limited hold in central and western Assam, basically. But whereas it's not acceptable, that is what a lot of it has no hold in eastern Assam, that is in the upper Assam heartland. Now, as far as AIUDF is concerned, it has nothing to lose, rather in contrast to the Congress, which has lot at stake. Do you agree to this assessment?
Yes, but they have already experimented with this, is not it? We fought election separately last time, and in a present day politics, when there is always a kind of, you can say, a gathering of a particular sentiment around, I call it always a scarecrow politics. So you create a villain somewhere and then you do something, you talk about it and then continue to fear, make people fear something which is coming, an unknown force.
Are you saying, Dr. Baharul Islam, that are you saying that the BJP is trying to make Ajmal that object of fear?
So if you just do a content analysis of all the content, media content happening, we have been watching this all over, and some of my researchers are working on this. The whole narrative is being fixed. Just an honorable member of the assembly has just said, because Congress has 14 or 15 Muslim MLAs, that's why it is a communal party. So this is the narrative. You can see on your own desk what is happening. If Mr. Deb's party can have all the MLAs from a particular religion except one Muslim, then it is not a communal party. So that kind of thing, what we are discussing today.
Let me quickly get a response.
Let me complete this.
That's a point you need to explain.
This is a tragedy of Assam that we are discussing this alliance rather than what economics alliance, what happened to our Look East policy. Where is Assam's economy and industry?
That is a point which Dr. Baharul Islam is saying. You said that if a party has 14 or 15 MLAs belonging to a certain community, and therefore you are accusing that party of being communal. So that question, I think you'd like to respond to that.
What I'm saying is that today the Congress had 124, but now there are a lot of vacancies also. So I believe there are 22 Congress MLAs. Out of them, 15 of them are Muslims. And okay, fine, because their base is more amongst the Muslim areas. The AIUDF also shared the same area. But as Mr. Professor has said, that BJP has got all the Hindu MLAs on one Muslim MLA. So why? Can I ask the professor, why the Muslims do not vote for BJP in the rest of the country? What is the harm? Can we explain that why Muslims in India do not vote for BJP? If that answer I can receive today, then we can be very clear that
let the professor respond. Yes, Dr. Baharul Islam, please respond.
Yes, Mr. Deb, the Muslims of India will vote for you when they will listen the same kind of speech. Before beating any Dalit, beat me. But so many Muslims have been died in lynching, but we have not heard the similar kind of strength. Second thing, it is always, you can always say that you vote me first, then I'll give ticket. In Hyderabad election, MIM gives 6 tickets to non-Muslims, but still it is a communal party. But you fight 100 and more seats, but you don't give so many Muslims people to give representation. First you accept, and then obviously you want a
Reply him after
respondent.
that.
Muslims are nobody's vote bank anymore.
Okay.
So,
can
if you project good Muslims,
Okay, let Siladitya respond.
they will be voted.
Let Siladitya Deb
So I'll
respond.
tell you something, like after Modi became the Prime Minister, or you see most of the BJP ruled states in India, the number of riots have come down drastically as compared to what used to happen probably a decade before or during the Congress period. So isn't it an indicator? Number one. Number two, do you think when Modi says sabke saath, sabke vikas, are he ignoring the Muslim community for development? I don't think so. I as a MLA from Hujai, I am doing equal development in all my parts, whether it's a Muslim area or a Hindu area. I'll just quote an example. Mr. Dwarikanath Das, one of the first MP from Assam, he belonged to Karimganj, and when he won in 1991, he did a lot of work for the fishermen in the Sonbil. The Sonbil area is fishermen from the Muslim community. And he worked so hard, and after that, when the elections came in 1996, the results came out, not even 2% vote he got from the Muslim community. Why was that? So therefore, it will take some time. It is not that who will do first, but we are open liberal political party, and we are trying to do good for everyone.
Okay,
we are trying to do good for the country, but the Muslim community also should come forward. And it has happened. It has happened in Bihar. The woman, the Muslim women, they have voted for the BJP in Bihar, and I am sure, I believe, in Assam also this time, the Muslim women are going to vote for the BJP.
Okay, Baharul Islam, quick response, quick final comment from you.
Yes, if one day Muslims vote for BJP in large number, BJP becomes more sabka saath, sabka vikas in real term, nobody will be more happy than myself or many other Muslims in this country. We equally love this country like anyone else. Just because we do not have a political space within BJP or in Congress or in other places, or we cannot make our own party, then we become a communal party, then there is a huge gap. So if the Honorable Prime Minister from BJP or from any other party, whoever is the Prime Minister of this country, he is the father, or you can say the father figure of the family.
Okay.
So in that way, I think this is a positive note on which it can go, but there is a law. I can just conclude by saying that there is a long distance between what is said as sabka vikas and what happens on the ground.
Okay, we'll have to wait and watch. Dr. Nani Gopal Mahanta, your final comments. How do you respond to these comments, the exchange of conversation between Siladitya Deb and Dr. Baharul Islam? What do you make of this? How do you assess this? The narrative.
Well, see, as a student
Very
of
quickly.
political science, I put it in perspective. In 60s and 70s, yes, it is the civil politics, which dominated the politics of Assam. But from 80s, and with the expansion of population dynamics in the state, there is both a perceptual fear and realistic fear. So because of this kind of fear from all sides are casting their vote on primordialism, on the basis of religion, language. This is the reality today. Look at the vote base of AIDF. Look at the vote base of even AGP. AGP is also Assamese Hindu-dominated party. So not to talk about BJP. So until and unless we change the rules of the game and there is a conversation, epistemic conversation at the civil society level to look at the real threat of the Assamese community as a whole, these issues will keep on going on. So this is the politics of primordialism. This is not civic politics. And there is a fear perception of demography, which is both real and to some extent exaggerated. So I believe we need to, until and unless, number one, address these issues. And number two, we change the rules of the game. That is the first pass to the post system. I think this kind of language box, religion box, ethnic box, this will keep on going on in the days to come. But only point is that let us remain civil. Let us have a kind of civilized debate or even civilized engagement of electoral politics.
Right. Mr. Paban Singh Ghatowar, at the end of the day, if you are doing politics, you have to win the elections. So therefore, the tendency among the political parties is to forget everything and only concentrate on winning the elections in whatever methodology you use. So that is what is happening. We have been seeing it since independence, isn't it, Mr. Ghatowar? Okay, Mr. Ghatwar's line is disconnected. Let me quickly ask Mr. UG Brahma, and bringing the focus back to, he is a very busy man in the, okay, Paban Singh Ghatowar, yes.
Almost 9 election, and I won 5 parliamentary election, and I was in the public field. Nobody can point out a finger on me that you have used this language. I have participated in many rallies, but the language used in the recent election and the behavior of the leaders are reflecting in their version, the way they speak. I think they intentionally try to divide the society. That is very dangerous for the democracy. That should not be. And all political party have to they have to respect the verdict of the people. No, the people verdict will be one thing, and the other people will form the government. This should not be there. I will agree with Professor Baharul Islam. Yes, we have. It's a fact of the life that we have 30% of the minority people in Assam, but we not have a single cabinet minister in our cabinet. So these are the things people see and they feel it. That it is not that democracy is you have to be participation of the people. There should be the accommodation and all other things. I think, and I personally hate this Hindu-Muslim politics. I never practice, I will never practice, and I hate the people who practice all this Hindu-Muslim politics. I don't
AIUDF
like this.
in the Upper Assam this time.
Okay, let me, I'm running absolutely short of time. My final question to you, Mr. UG Brahma, in the middle of the very, very blazing Bodo Council campaign. Mr. UG Brahma, what kind of an impact is Congress AIUDF fighting together in the Bodo Council polls have? Mr. Brahma.
No, I think that is not yet clear. That is not yet clear because alliance in between BJP and the BPF, that is the BJP and AJP, that is, we know, obviously that is coming up. But regarding the other parties like Congress, AIUDF and other parties, left and other parties, that is not yet clear. I cannot say anything clear about it.
Okay, so he is non-committal as far as the Congress AIUDF alliance impact, and he's saying that alliances are not clear in the Bodo heartland. I am absolutely run out of time. I think this debate on whether there will be new alliances in Assam for the 2021 elections, there is absolutely no doubt about it that there will be new alliances coming, and we are in the middle of the Bodo elections. The results will be declared on the 12th. After, I think the things are going to get a clearer shape, whether the UPPL is going to be the Assam BJP's new ally that is going to also take it to 2021, or whether the Congress and the AIUDF is going to really seal an agreement and contest the elections together. Despite a lot of apprehensions, we have to wait and watch. On the whole, there are a lot of possibilities. We cannot rule out anything at this stage. I thank all my panelists for participating in the program and the viewers for watching the show. Good night and goodbye.